Elon Musk might champion traditional family values these days, but his personal life tells a far more complicated story.
Because the man in question, their father, my ex-husband, or as I sometimes like to think of him, my baby daddy.
Their marriage seemed unshakable. Wealth, success, and a growing family made it look like a dream. But beneath the surface, Justine Musk felt invisible, unheard, and emotionally abandoned. She and Elon Musk had built a life together, raising 5 children. Yet something was missing. She held on, hoping things would change, until one moment shattered everything. A single, unexpected event forced her to walk away, leaving the world stunned. What could have driven her to such a final decision? Stay with us. This story is truly unbelievable. Elon and Justine Musk, the love, the loss, and the breaking point. From the outside, their love story seemed like something out of a novel. 2 ambitious young dreamers chasing success, love, and a future filled with endless possibilities. Elon Musk, the brilliant and relentless entrepreneur, and Justine Musk, the fiercely independent and creative writer, appeared to be the perfect match. Their paths first crossed in the early 1990s at Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. And from the very beginning, Elon was drawn to her in a way that would define their entire relationship. Elon's pursuit of Justine was anything but ordinary. When he first approached her, she barely remembered meeting him at a party he claimed they had both attended. Unfazed, Elon was determined to win her over. His persistence was undeniable. When she turned down his initial invitation for ice cream, he later found her studying in the student center, holding 2 melting cones in his hands. It was awkward, unexpected, but strangely endearing. Even as Elon pursued other women, he never truly let go of Justine. He continued to send her roses and, after transferring to Wharton, stayed in touch. It was clear he admired her, not just for her looks, but for her intelligence, ambition, and independent spirit. This was different from the relationships Justine had known before, where she was often criticized for being too competitive. Elon, however, saw her drive as something to be celebrated. After graduation, life took them in different directions. Justine moved to Japan to teach English, while Elon was carving out his place in Silicon Valley, living with roommates and building his first company, Zip2. The distance separated them for a while, but fate had other plans. One evening, Justine casually mentioned to her sister that if Elon ever reached out again, she would give their relationship another shot. Almost as if the universe had been listening, Elon called her just a week later. By then, he was no longer just a college student with big dreams. He was on the verge of creating his first tech empire. Justine started visiting him in California, where he was working obsessively to get Zip2 off the ground. Even in those early days, it was clear that Elon's mind never rested. He saw the world in numbers, logic, and efficiency, while Justine was more in tune with emotions, creativity, and personal depth. Their differences were evident, but they didn't seem to matter at the time. Elon's wealth grew rapidly. In 1999, he sold Zip2 for a great fortune, instantly transforming his life. He purchased an 1,800-square-foot condo and, in classic Elon fashion, splurged on a McLaren F, 1 sports car, and a small plane. But despite the extravagance, their routine remained largely the same, except now there were flying lessons and a future that seemed limitless. Then came marriage. In January 2000, Elon and Justine tied the knot. But just before the wedding, Elon introduced a financial agreement, something he claimed was simply a request from his company's board and not a prenuptial contract. Justine, trusting in their love, signed it without much concern. After all, she believed they would never divorce. For a while, their life together was exciting. Elon's ventures were growing, and Justine was pursuing her dream of becoming a published author. But cracks in their marriage started appearing early on. At their wedding reception, Elon casually told her, "I am the alpha in this relationship." At the time, Justine brushed it off as a joke. But over the years, it became clear that he meant every word. The power dynamic in their marriage shifted drastically. Elon, raised in a highly competitive and male-dominated culture, carried that same mindset into his personal life. Decisions were made his way, and Justine often found herself feeling sidelined, like a mere accessory to his fast-paced, high-stakes world. When she would remind him that she was his wife, not his employee, Elon had a simple response. "If you were my employee, I would have fired you." In 2002, their lives changed forever. Their first child, Nevada Alexander Musk, was born, bringing them what should have been unparalleled joy. But just 10 weeks later, tragedy struck. Nevada died of sudden infant death syndrome, SMSI. Justine was devastated. She grieved openly, struggling to come to terms with the unimaginable loss. Elon, on the other hand, chose to push forward, refusing to talk about the tragedy. To him, emotions were obstacles, distractions from progress. When Justine tried to discuss their loss, he shut her down completely. Instead of processing their grief together, they moved forward in silence. Within 2 months, they were at an IVF clinic, determined to have more children. Over the next 5 years, they welcomed twins Griffin and Xavier, followed by triplets Damien, Saxon, and Kai. Their family had grown, but Justine felt more isolated than ever. Elon's relentless work ethic left little room for emotional connection, and their home, now a sprawling 6,000-square-foot mansion in Bel Air, felt more like a workplace than a family space. Their lifestyle had become a whirlwind of luxury, wealth, and high-profile events. They attended exclusive parties, mingled with Hollywood's elite, and traveled the world in private jets. From black-tie fundraisers to celebrity-studded getaways, their life seemed like the epitome of success. But behind closed doors, Justine felt like she was disappearing. The imbalance in their marriage was undeniable. Elon had a clear vision of what he wanted, a partner who fit seamlessly into his structured, high-performance world. Justine, however, wanted more than just to exist in his orbit. She wanted an equal partnership, a marriage built on emotional depth, mutual respect, and genuine connection. Then, in the spring of 2008, everything fell apart. Elon filed for divorce. Just 6 weeks later, Justine received a text message that would shatter any remaining illusions she had about their marriage. It was short, direct, and cold. Elon was engaged to a younger British actress, Talulah Riley. No warning, no discussion, just a blunt declaration that their life together was over. What had led to this final moment? What had gone so wrong in a relationship that once seemed so full of promise? The answers, as you're about to see, will leave you speechless. Elon Musk's relationships, a cycle of passion, power, and heartbreak. Before diving back into the final moments between Justine and Elon Musk, let's take a closer look at Elon's relationships after their divorce. While his marriage to Justine had been a journey of ambition, emotional distance, and eventual detachment, his subsequent romances followed a similar pattern: intense beginnings, grand gestures, and inevitable collapse. In 2008, while still finalizing his divorce from Justine, Elon met Talulah Riley, a rising star in British cinema. Known for her roles in Pride and Prejudice in 2005 and St. Trinian's in 2007, Talulah was a young actress with a promising career. Unlike Justine, who had been with Elon in his early struggles, Talulah met him when he was already a billionaire, a man no longer chasing success, but shaping industries. Their introduction happened in a London nightclub, an unlikely place for someone as introverted and work-obsessed as Elon. But that night, something clicked. Talulah later described him as intense and captivating, unlike anyone she had met. True to his nature, Elon wasted no time. He swept her off her feet with grand gestures, flying her to Los Angeles to introduce her to his world of private jets, billion-dollar companies, and interplanetary dreams. Despite being 14 years younger, Talulah quickly became a part of his life. By 2010, just 2 years after meeting, they were married in a lavish ceremony. But for Elon, romance wasn't about the fairy tale. It was about stability. Talulah seemed to bring a calmness that had been missing since his first marriage. For a while, it worked. Talulah embraced her new role, stepping in as a stepmother to his 5 children. But Justine's warnings proved true. Elon's work consumed him. He would disappear for days, fully immersed in Tesla and SpaceX, expecting Talulah to simply accept it. By 2012, the marriage was unraveling. Then, in a move eerily similar to how he had ended things with Justine, Elon told Talulah he no longer loved her. Soon after, he filed for divorce. But just 18 months later, Elon changed his mind. Realizing he had made a mistake, he reached out to Talulah again. Against all odds, she agreed to try again, and by July 2013, they were remarried. To outsiders, it was baffling. Why go back to a marriage that had already failed? Some speculated that Elon, a man obsessed with fixing things, saw their marriage as another engineering problem to solve. Talulah, perhaps believing things would be different, gave it another chance. For a while, it seemed to work. They attended events together, and Elon tried to be more present. But soon, old habits returned. His workaholic nature, his emotional detachment, and the overwhelming imbalance in their marriage resurfaced. By 2016, Talulah had had enough. This time, she was the one who filed for divorce. The split was amicable, with another multi-million-dollar settlement. But this time, there was no going back. If Talulah was the stabilizing force in Elon's life, Amber Heard was the complete opposite. Fresh from her high-profile and volatile divorce from Johnny Depp, Amber entered Elon's world like a storm. Their relationship, which became public in 2016, had been brewing for years. Elon had reportedly been fascinated by her since 2012. Even while she was still married to Depp, he pursued her persistently, arranging meetings through mutual friends, but nothing serious developed until 2016, when Amber's marriage ended. By early 2017, their relationship was official. The couple was seen together in Miami and Australia, and soon they were posting romantic moments on social media. But passion quickly turned to chaos. Unlike Talulah, who had adapted to Elon's demanding lifestyle, Amber brought her own brand of intensity. Their relationship was filled with lavish trips, extravagant gifts, and heated arguments. Elon was reportedly head over heels, showering her with everything she wanted, but their personalities clashed. The relationship became a cycle of passion, followed by explosive fights. By August 2017, it was over. Elon later admitted the breakup hit him hard. Despite their differences, he had loved her deeply. But even after their split, the two couldn't seem to stay apart. They reunited later that year, attempting to give love another shot. But their fundamental differences remained, and by early 2018, they were officially done for good. After the emotional roller coaster with Amber, Elon took a brief break from dating. Then, in 2018, he entered one of the most unusual relationships of his life, with Grimes, Claire Boucher, an experimental musician and artist. Unlike his previous relationships, which were rooted in traditional romance, his bond with Grimes had an intellectual and futuristic quality. They reportedly connected online over an obscure artificial intelligence joke, and from there, their connection deepened. They shocked the world when they made their debut as a couple at the 2018 Met Gala. Grimes, known for her avant-garde music and artistic eccentricities, seemed like an odd match for the billionaire tech mogul. But they shared a love for technology, futurism, and deep philosophical debates. Their relationship was filled with unconventional moments, but none was as shocking as the birth of their child in May 2020. They named him XAE-12 Musk, a name that went viral instantly. The name, a combination of AI references and a tribute to a reconnaissance aircraft, reflected their shared vision for the future. Despite their intellectual bond, their relationship faced significant challenges. Elon's relentless work ethic and Grimes's artistic pursuits created tension. By September 2021, Musk confirmed they were semi-separated but remained close. Then, in March 2022, they officially ended their relationship. But before the world could even process the breakup, shocking news emerged in mid-2022. Elon had secretly fathered twins with Shivan Zilis, a top executive at Neuralink. The news took many by surprise. Shivan was not just an employee, she was one of his top AI experts. Their professional relationship had evolved into something personal, and in November 2021, she gave birth to twins, just weeks before Elon's second child with Grimes was born via surrogate. The revelation raised questions about workplace dynamics, but Elon and Shivan handled it quietly. Unlike his previous relationships, this one stayed largely out of the public eye. Still, Musk's love life continued to make headlines. Shortly after the news about his twins surfaced, he was linked to Australian actress Natasha Bassett. Their romance was short-lived, another fleeting chapter in Elon Musk's ever-evolving personal life. With every relationship, the pattern remained the same: intensity, passion, and inevitable detachment. Is Elon stuck in a never-ending cycle, or is there a real love story in his future? Drop your thoughts below. The breaking point, when Justine knew it was over. Coming back to Justine and the real reason her marriage to Elon Musk never worked, it becomes clear that his emotional detachment wasn't just a problem in their relationship. It was a pattern that followed him into every romance that came after. He saw the world through numbers, logic, and efficiency, while Justine valued emotional connection, creativity, and personal depth. His inability to be emotionally present at critical moments became one of the defining fractures of their marriage. The first major red flag appeared in 2002, when they welcomed their first child, Nevada Alexander Musk. Their joy was short-lived. At just 10 weeks old, Nevada tragically passed away from sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. Justine was devastated, needing to grieve and process the loss. But Elon, true to his nature, refused to dwell on emotions. He shut down every attempt Justine made to talk about it, believing emotions were obstacles to progress. Instead of mourning together, Justine was left to grieve alone, while Elon buried himself in work. The second red flag came soon after. As Elon's work at Tesla and SpaceX consumed him, he became increasingly absent. Even when he was home, Justine longed for meaningful conversations, intimacy, and empathy, but those things became impossible. The support he once gave her writing disappeared. He dismissed her book deadlines and focused only on his own ambitions. Arguments became more frequent, and Elon was quick to criticize Justine's flaws, rather than acknowledge their struggles. She felt invisible, trapped in a marriage where she no longer mattered. Then came the moment that changed everything. It was spring 2008, 8 years after their wedding, when Justine was involved in a car accident. As the crash unfolded, a realization hit her harder than the impact. Her first thought was how Elon would react. It was then that she understood. She wasn't his wife anymore. She was a trophy, living a life that no longer felt like her own. She had changed herself to fit Elon's world, from her thin frame to her platinum blonde hair, a look he had encouraged. But none of it made her happy. She no longer recognized herself. She voiced her desire for real partnership, for the love they had before he became a billionaire. Elon agreed to counseling, but after just a few sessions, he gave her an ultimatum: fix the marriage immediately or divorce. The next day, he filed for divorce. At first, Justine was shocked, but soon, relief set in. Only then did she realize the consequences of signing the postnuptial agreement years earlier. She had given up her marital rights, including claims to their shared assets. Her legal team challenged the agreement, arguing that Elon's PayPal merger had made him far wealthier than what had been disclosed in the contract. However, the court ruled in Elon's favor. Justine, determined to reclaim her life, cut her hair, started fresh, and embraced a new world, one where women weren't just the wives of billionaires, but powerful individuals in their own right. But what made Justine realize she was just another piece in Elon's world? And what happened when she broke free? Keep watching. Justine Musk's reinvention after divorce. Justine Musk had a choice. She could let the divorce define her, or she could take back control of her life. She chose the latter. In the aftermath of her split from Elon Musk, she found herself at a crossroads, but instead of dwelling on what was lost, she turned her focus to what she could rebuild. She returned to her greatest passion, writing, publishing novels that explored deep emotional themes and the resilience of the human spirit. At the same time, she became an advocate for women in high-profile marriages, using her experiences to highlight the importance of maintaining one's sense of self in relationships. Though the marriage had ended painfully, she never saw it as a failure. Instead, it was a lesson, one that ultimately led her back to the independence she had once lost. Despite being estranged from Elon and only communicating with him through his assistant when it came to their children, Justine did not regret their marriage. Over time, she worked through her anger and disappointment, both at Elon for making her feel replaceable and at herself for believing in a fairy tale that never truly existed. However, she still respected Elon for his brilliance and vision, even if they had not been the right partners for each other. As the legal battle over their property and financial settlements dragged on, their marriage was officially dissolved. However, Justine and Elon continued to share joint custody of their 5 sons, ensuring that their children thrived despite the separation. Interestingly, throughout the divorce proceedings, Justine found an unexpected friend, Talulah Riley, Elon's fiancée at the time. While many assumed she would harbor resentment toward the woman who was stepping into her place, Justine did the opposite. She reached out to Talulah, expressing her desire to handle the situation with grace and avoid unnecessary drama. Talulah agreed, and over time, their mutual respect turned into an unlikely friendship. Talulah, a young, intelligent actress, seemed better suited to Elon's world. Unlike Justine, who had struggled with his emotionally distant nature, Talulah adapted to it. Interestingly, Talulah had dark hair when she first met Elon, but as time passed, she became even blonder than Justine had ever been. Today, Justine lives in Los Angeles, raising her 5 sons while building a life entirely her own. She has authored several novels and continues to embrace her independence, proving that even after heartbreak, reinvention is always possible. But what do you think? Did Justine Musk truly find closure, or is her past with Elon still shaping her future? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.